What is up, y'all? Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to another Adobe Live. My name is Idara Ekpoh, and I am going to be your host for today. And today we are joined by Goldie Chan. Goldie, how are you today?
Hello, I am doing so good. I have some cinnamon tea with me that's super tasty, and
Yes.
I'm so ready to share some fun things here on Adobe
Uh,
Live.
Oh, yay. I'm excited. I'm excited. So, really excited to join y'all today. As always, thank you so much for joining Adobe Live. Make sure that you join the Adobe Live community and subscribe to our YouTube channel, as well as follow us on Instagram at Adobe Live. That way, you can get the latest streams, updates, and so much more. As always, drop where you guys are joining from in the chat. It's really cool to see how far our reach is expanding today. But I'm really excited, Goldie, because you're going to take us. I think you're going to take a writing export and create videos, social assets also using Photoshop and Adobe Express. So talk to us a little bit about what we got planned today because I'm really excited.
Okay, so I'm super excited for this. First of all, I don't know about everyone else, but I've lived in Photoshop for an embarrassingly long time. So Photoshop is my absolute favorite. We're going to do really light cosmetic things though today. We're not going to spend too much time in Photoshop because I want to
Okay.
spend the majority of our time in Adobe Express showing how you can take things like the written words, so either things that you've written yourself or say you get some amazing press or you get some
Mhm.
blog mentions or you get some podcast mentions, how to take that and
Recording
turn
in
those
progress.
into very cool videos and turn those also into videos for Instagram Reels, videos for TikTok, videos for LinkedIn, YouTube Shorts, or also just still images for all of those platforms as well. I think it'll be hopefully really fun day to day. So I think this is my sign that I should start with my intro. So hi everyone, I'm Goldie Chan. I love to do very text-based things because I'm a writer. I'm a writer and I currently write for Forbes. I'm working on my first book, all
Wow.
around personal branding, marketing, and I also create a ton of videos, and I'm also a speaker. So I love to speak on stage around marketing and branding and building and growing your confidence. So I hope some of you will also become more confident after you watch this amazing Adobe Live. And I run my own social media and branding agency called Warm Robots, based out of sunny, it's not very sunny right now in Los Angeles, but sunny Los Angeles. And here's just some of the places that I've been featured, some of the press. So once again, I'm going to show you how you can take something like a cool press mention and then make it into something you can use on social media. So I'm very excited.
Me too. Oh.
I like ran through this, but as somebody who I would consider myself a creative professional because I write, but I also do a lot of graphics and myself. I also sometimes paint, and I'm sure some of us are
Hmm.
like that, where we do 50 million things.
Yeah, yeah.
I think all creatives are like that. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of this and I'm going to
Awesome.
jump directly into Photoshop. I already have it open here. And I love that you can see I've been doing like 12 iterations of the same project. I don't know who else is like this.
I
Um,
am. I'm
yes.
definitely like this.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take something that is a screen cap and we're going to clean it up. So this is useful if you, for example, have ever, and I'm going to go ahead and we're going to literally just open this. I was going to drag and drop it, but we already have it. So even easier, I'm going to just take this one that's already in here. And we're going to go ahead and edit this. So here's what I want to show you. So we are in Photoshop. I'm going to show you how to clean up this screen cap that I took directly from Forbes. Now, this is an article I've written myself, but say this article was about you, our beautiful person watching this live stream today. You can do the exact same thing. So what we're going to do is I am just really easily, and I'm going to move my zoom bar is totally in the way of my wonderful favorite thing, Photoshop. So I'm moving my zoom bar first. Okay, I am cutting and pasting this Forbes to move it more towards the center. So one of the things we want to do is just make this more aesthetic. And so we're moving that. We're going to do kind of just like little cleanups here and there. I like to think of this as kind of like when I used to help my friends Photoshop their headshots. I would like clean up the hairs, like the loose hairs around their faces and stuff. This is what we're doing. We're just making this screenshot more aesthetically pleasing. So when we're doing that, once again, I just want to center the logo of this screen cap that I took. And, you know, this is all good, like what the title is, who the contributor is, but I don't know that I necessarily need like, listen to the article, it's 4 minutes. So what we'll do is we're just going to do so easy. We're just going to cut, whoops, and we're going to cut on the right layer, which I'm sure all of us have done that before.
Who hasn't? Who hasn't,
right? We're going to move that up. I told you this would be the easiest Photoshop tutorial forever. We're just moving that up a little bit. And then I'm this person, I like to just have all my layers be flat. So we're going to just merge everything. So I've just merged all my layers together. And then what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and just kind of crop this shorter. And I'm going to get rid of that in a second. So we're going to go into image and we're just going to crop this. Once again, this is maybe not the most advanced Photoshop tutorial you'll ever see, but that's okay because we don't really need super advanced stuff right now.
Exactly. You just need enough.
We just need enough. So we're going to merge that down. Okay, so now we have a pretty clean screenshot that we can use. Took us less than a minute to do in Photoshop. This is why Photoshop is the best. And we are going to go ahead. And so one thing that'll happen, of course, if you're familiar with Photoshop, if you're not familiar with Photoshop, so if this was still layers, if I tried to save it, it would save as a PSD because there's layers. And one of the things you'd want to do then is, and I'll just show how to do it, is save as a copy. Because that way it'll save it as a flat PNG. And we're going to go ahead and call this Forbes screen cap. Very long. And we're going to save it as a PNG because that'll be really nice. And I'm going to save it directly on my desktop. Cool. That all sounds good to me. And what I've done is I've already pre-prepared a few of these edits just so we can kind of jump right into Adobe Express because there's so much cool stuff I want to show you in Adobe Express. I'm going to quit out of Adobe. Yes, I want to save these things. Yes, Photoshop. Yes. I know what we're talking about. Okay, so now we're going to get into the really fun part. But I wanted to show you really fast how to just clean up an image in Photoshop. And we might jump back later if we need to clean up something else. But now we are in the Adobe Express beta. And this is where we get into the fun stuff. So I'm going to show you how you can take that screen cap and you can make it into a video. You can make it into still image. And how you can then share that on social, which I think is even more fun. Okay, so we are going to start from a template because I don't want to make something from scratch. And we are here on Adobe Live and I can do whatever I want. This. Okay, so let's start with an Instagram story template and I'll show you how to get to those templates. And it is the easiest thing ever. I'm going to click on Instagram story and I'm going to say browse templates.
So easy.
So easy. Look at me flying through this. Our entire tutorial will take 10 minutes. No, we're here for
a while,
like an hour more. So what we're going to do is which is going to be the fun part, is we're going to go through a bunch of different templates. And I'm also going to show you a couple of little other fun things to do, like how to create your own QR code for your website using Adobe Express, which I'm super excited to show you how to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and we are going to take one of these templates you know what? I'm just going to do this one. So I'm going to click on this.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I was just saying this right before we started is I feel like I'm always like this because things are so small. And I'm going to make this slightly bigger so I can actually see what I'm doing. And what we're going to do is, first of all, let's just play through this template. I like this template a lot. I think it's really fun and graphic, and it's also really easy. And one of the reasons why I picked this template is you have this great image here that we can then super easily replace with that amazing thing we just designed. Yes. Okay. So let's do that. I'm going to go ahead and so first of all, there's two ways we can do this. So I'm going to show you one way, then I'm going to show you the other way. So the first way we can do this is if we see this cool little circly icon, we can just replace the image. So I'm going to replace that image and I'm going to upload from device. Wow. You guys just watched me make this?
And bam.
And bam. So obviously not great. What we don't want is, you know, this text on top. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that text just because I'm going to make new text later. And look, so literally in 5 seconds, I've already made this video, and we could leave it as is, but we're not going to because we're going to make it even cooler. But I also wanted to say, so I just showed you how you could literally replace the image right away. So the other way we could have done it is this, and I'll show you, is I could have deleted the image. Also, we're just gonna clean up. I like to have my templates clean, my house clean.
Yeah, everything clean.
Everything clean. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and we are going to go ahead and add in an element. So the other way to do that is, first of all, we could drag or drop. But what I don't want to do is I've like perfectly sized my Adobe Express for my screen. So I don't want to resize this and pull in a file. So I'm going to go upload from device. And once again, we are going to pick out this screen cap we just did. And that was the other way to do it. So multiple ways to do the same thing. I just wanted to show you so you can see just how easy this is. And I'm resizing this bad boy. I'm also, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to crop in because I realized I did not do the best job with that original edit in Photoshop, which once again, I feel we've all been there with making imperfect crops. It's okay. Life is okay. Okay, so we have this beautiful crop now. Now let's add in some elements. Let's make this more interesting. So we have this great template already, but as we can see, we could literally export it like this and it would be good to go, which is so neat. But I feel like even better is, why don't we add in some fun elements? So we could literally add in some color elements. Like, I'm so lazy sometimes. So here's just a here's a cool shape. And we are going to go ahead and we are going to, let's go ahead and just resize this. And I love doing this because I feel like it shows you just how much you can just pick the first shape and it still looks cool. So we're going to take this shape, but what we want to do is throw some text on top. So I'm going to add some text, and this is my new text. And now you will all see what my favorite font is in the entire world. And my favorite font in the entire world is Poppins. I don't know why. I really like Poppins. Whoever's watching this, do you have a favorite text? Because I feel like, who doesn't? And one of the things that I, of course, have is a brand kit for my brand too that I have in Adobe Express. But I want to show you how to do this, doing it manually. So my new text is new article, and I'm naughty and not doing any capitalization right now.
Which is always a vibe. It's always a vibe.
It feels like that's always a vibe, right? Like I don't think you need to always have things perfectly
No.
capitalized. If my Forbes editor is watching this, I apologize, and everything will be properly grammatically correct. Okay, so now we have something that says new article, yay. And here's the cool thing. So say Poppins isn't my favorite font, which is absolutely a lie. Then what I can do is, the cool thing about Adobe Express is it will recommend other fonts. So say I'm like, ooh, this actually matches maybe more that new in the background that already exists in the font and as a font behind.
Yeah.
And what's cool is they will recommend a bunch. And as a visual person, so I'm a writer, but I'm also a visual person. I like to see what the other fonts are because I don't necessarily have fonts memorized outside of Poppins, Helvetica, and a couple of others. And if you are watching and you have all the fonts memorized, power to you. I'm not that person. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to do something wild and do a non-Poppins font. So here we have our new article, but also what I love to do is whenever I get a press mention or I mention someone else, I like to leave room to go ahead and type in their name when I upload it onto Instagram. So I like to have a squarish, rectangular-ish elements, as I'm saying the word elements, and also a call to action, because who doesn't love a good call to action? So I'm going to literally insert an arrow so people know, wow, I should look at this, I should click this. And then I'm going to go ahead and we're just making it up as we go. This is totally the designer's way of like a cooking show for sure. Okay, so what I've done here is I've just left space. So the thing about designing something for social media is it's always nice to leave space for links. So this is where either I will put the tag or both, right? Like I will tag the person that wrote this article about me, or if I'm writing about somebody else, I'll tag that person. Or this is where I will put my beautiful hyperlink. And because I'm not going to open up Instagram and actually upload this one, so we're going to do some mock text in Poppins. Right now.
The favorite font, the font of the hour.
The font of the hour. If there's any other Poppins fans out there that
let us know. Let us know. Drop it in the chats. Yes. Oh, and if you have any questions throughout the live, please be sure y'all drop them in the comments so that way I can make sure I ask Goldie, so that way we make this as interactive as possible.
Absolutely, yes. Ask questions specifically around this template I'm making, but also around personal branding, any of those cool things. I believe this is the URL for Adobe. This would be very embarrassing if this was not the URL for Adobe. I think this is right. And I'm just going to add in what color I would use. It would probably be white if I was doing this on Instagram. And as we can see, we're not seeing it super well. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to add in another background on this. Once again, we're just doing this as we go. We're just having a good time, right?
Yes.
And I feel like this is what I really enjoy about Adobe Express, is it feels just so meditative. Okay, so this is also how, as you can see, it's currently blocking our text, which is no good. So we're going to move it down. And now we can kind of see the URL a little better. And I'm going to zoom out. I love this is so tiny. Okay, but we're gonna zoom out so 10%, so that way you can see the whole thing. So this is basically done. So I'm gonna play this. Now this is literally an Instagram story that advertises or shows that you have this new press mention. It's super cool. It shows the the link that they can go to actually go to that article or go to that podcast, or go to that blog, etc. And they are able to instantly check it out. Okay, so this was one template. Now we can do the fun thing. We can go and create some more templates together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to very properly title this as we're going to do Instagram press one. I'm not very inventive with titles. Sorry, guys. This is not we're not doing creative writing right now. Okay, so we're going to go back to the home screen. We're going to go all the way back home. And now what I want to do is let's make a TikTok video. So that was something that was for Instagram story. It was very short, as you saw, but let's see what kind of TikTok video templates we got. Let's look through our templates. So one of the things I love about doing this live is, okay, let's just pick something. So this is the 6th thing down. And this looks really good. I'm going to play through to see what it already looks like. And one of the reasons why, once again, I picked this one is it already has this rectangular image in the center, which means when I replace it with the screen cap I made or one of the other screen caps I made, it's already going to look good. So that's one thing to look out for, is when you're picking your templates, you want to make sure that you are picking things that will already work with your screen cap. So it just makes your life easier. Why make your life tougher? There's no reason for that at all.
Literally none.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and I've already prepped a couple of other things. So here is another article that I worked on. And as you can see, once again, obviously we'll change the text, but this is already looking pretty amazing. And it already has animation, which is nice. And this could go live on TikTok already. But what we're going to do is we're going to change some of this text, because this text needs to be changed because this is not relevant to what we're doing. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go into layers. What you just saw is I expanded the layers. You know what? Let's start with the book today layer, actually. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to edit our text.
Okay.
So instead of book today, we're going to write read now, and I'm going to do it all in caps, because what that will be is our call to action, and then I'll put the URL right below that.
Okay.
And then what we're also going to do is, once again, expand our layers, and we're going to go into this 25%. Now we're going to ungroup this, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and not do 25% off, because that's not quite what we want to say. We're going to say new, and then article. And then we're going to do that. And as you can see, what's so cool is we've basically already made, and I'm going to get in closer than 14%, because once again, I can't even see what I'm doing. Sometimes it's nice to be able to see everything all at once. And then sometimes it's nice to not have to get close. I'm going to delete that. So as we can see, we're going to edit some more of this, but already, literally, we changed this template about beauty into a template about a blog, which upgrade, downgrade, who knows, but is going to be so helpful for you promoting your business. So let's get into also, okay, so we have also all these other things here. One of the things I think that's always helpful is just seeing what layers already exist on a template, and then getting in there. And then if we need to ungroup, just ungroup. And then we can also change the font or change the text. So this now says Beauty by Belinda, which probably is not what we want.
Not what we need here. Not relevant to
article. But we can maybe change that to let's get in even closer than the 25%. We're getting 50%. We're gonna scroll down and we're gonna write, whoop. We're gonna get back in that layer, featured on, and let's do all caps actually, featured on LinkedIn, because that's where this article is from. I'm just going to do an asterisk because I'm too lazy to do the other dot. And then I'm going to copy, and then we're just going to whoop. We're going to add more to this. Cool. So what I'm basically doing is I'm kind of mocking the template a little bit, and zoom out so I can see what I'm doing, because that is always helpful when I don't see what I'm doing. Okay, so we're gonna whoop. Okay, cool. So that should be good enough. But as you can see, now I've taken this beautiful template and it's a little harder to see. So I don't want a line. I want to move move it behind everything. So we're just gonna move it behind everything. So whoops, not everything.
Not behind that.
We're gonna move it so it's behind some things. There we go. So now as you can see, so the featured on LinkedIn now will be replacing the Beauty by Belinda. And we can manually do this with all of the other things. So if I want this to say something else, I can. In fact, I'm going to change that to say new article. And then we're going to cut and paste that. And then we're going to and it's great because then we just do that. And as you can see, we already literally made this like very aesthetic thing about beauty, about your brand. And I think that's one of the things is that people always think that branding has to be like ugly and dry. And it really doesn't have to be. Like, you can use cool colors that you would use for other things for branding, and use your color palette. And it doesn't need to be so dry, right? Yeah. So in fact, I feel like that's like the most fun thing about using pre-made templates is you just don't have to, think too hard on it, because like this is already a color scheme that somebody else was like, maybe these colors look great together. So even if you're a creative person, you don't need to be spending that time being like, wonder what colors go together if you don't already have a brand kit. You of course already have a brand kit, then use those colors. Okay, so let's zoom out so we can see kind of what this final basic version is, and then we're gonna do some fun stuff with it too. Okay, so now that it is teeny tiny, we can see it all in its beautiful entirety. And as you can see, now we have, ta-da, it's like still moving, it's still animated. It's basically all the original animations are in here still. But this is like a cool thing we can use on TikTok, we can use it on Instagram, we can use it on YouTube Shorts. I'm gonna like list off every single social platform. We use on LinkedIn, we use on Twitter. I'm still on Twitter. I don't know if anyone else is.
I am. I feel like Twitter's still a gem. It's still a gem.
I think that there's still really interesting conversations. And also, pro tip that is unrelated to graphic design, a lot of journalists still live on Twitter. So it actually is, and we're talking about press, it is the perfect place to talk about getting press or cool writing, is on Twitter. Okay, so you know what? I don't want to show you just how to do basic, like we're just replacing exactly. Well, I did want to show you that a little bit, but now that we have just some time to get to know each other, hang out, what I want to show you is how to animate these things. Okay, so what I've done is I've clicked on this. Okay, first of all, we're on a group, because sometimes we're better as a group. We're better as a family. Okay, now that we've grouped these two together, that's a new article. I'm going to go into animation, and I want to animate this in. So I'll show you what a few of these look like. So here's Bungie. Drift is honestly my favorite animation because it's just nice and slow. We have drop, we have fade, pop, rise, shrink, spin, tumble, which is actually super fun.
So cute.
Right? And all these are like so cute. And I think they work really well with the fact that this looks a little bit like a sun shape. Flicker to me always feels really intense. So I personally don't use Flicker ever. But what I'm going to do is I really like bungee. I feel like it's nice. So I'm going to drop in bungee. And the cool thing about animation on Adobe Express, and specifically this kind of animation, is I can have the duration be a little bit longer or shorter. I could have multiple bounces. We're gonna have 3 bounces on this because I feel like it. And also I can just have it bungee in from many different places. So from the side, this side, down, which I feel like I like that down bungee the best.
Yeah, the down is nice.
And then the cool thing is you can also, you can have it loop. You can have something else. There's a ton of different animations, and I'm going to go through some of the other ones in some of the other templates that we do. But now, as you can see, there's a little bit of breathing right here with this. And then there's also some animation already with this piece that already existed in template. But once again, I think it's helpful to have a call to action that is really obvious. So our read now is our call to action. So,
and while you do that, we do have a question in the chat.
Yes, let's get to questions.
So this question says, "Hi from the UK. I have a question for Goldie. So Adobe Express is like a mix between Premiere Pro and Photoshop. You can use it to create and export moving pictures to help promoting your writing." So that's their question.
Yes.
Basically, yeah.
The answer to that is yes. So I think the fun thing about Adobe Express is if you've ever used multiple tools in Adobe, there are what's so great, especially about the beta, and I'll show actually with another template right after this one. So I'm so glad you asked that, is now you can connect stuff. Connect like little wow, I want to say items, and that's not all the right word, but connect different things like logos that maybe you designed in Illustrator into Adobe Express. And so the cool thing about that is I can edit that logo in Adobe Illustrator or Adobe Photoshop, and it's linked to Adobe Express. So I can then take that item and I don't need to keep exporting it back out into Adobe, say Photoshop, and then fixing it and then bringing it back in. What I can do is I can just take that linked item and I can just do all I need to do in Photoshop, and it will automatically change in Adobe Express, which is so, so cool. But yes, essentially Adobe Express has a lot of light functionality. So obviously you're not going to get the full suite of the Adobe Creative Suite and Adobe Express. That's not what it's made for. And that would honestly be incredibly overwhelming and probably wreck all of our computers. And nobody wants that. So it's going to be a lot like light versions of a lot of different things. Along with being really just like its own standalone thing, because you have templates and because you have cool animation pieces. And speaking of which, we are going to go ahead and animate this. So as you can see, we have some wiggle, we have some spin, we have some blinking, we have some jitter, we have pulse. Oh, I really like that. That's really, that really says this is a call to action. So let's see what it looks like now. So now we have, there we go. We have that beginning animation for the new article. We have the article itself, screen cap. We have the read now, read now, read now. But it doesn't feel, to me, one thing that I try not to do is when I'm doing promotional things is I don't want it to be cringy. Yeah. And I'm sure there's a technical word for cringe and I don't know what it is. But I don't want anything that I make, especially promotional things, to ever feel cringy. So this feels fun. This feels light. There's a good call to action. And then what I would do is Once again, I'm not going to export this one and upload it onto Instagram and add in the URL, but I will add in a fake URL. And I will go ahead and just make some text. This is like not pop-ins though. So we're gonna find pop-ins and we're gonna make pop-ins our text. And we're gonna, once again, I'm gonna just whoop. I'm such a manual person too. I don't know if anyone else is this way, where you just like, there's a few more automated ways I could have done this, but I just like to show manual sometimes.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah, I think it's also good to know how to do things manually. That way, once you learn the shortcut, you can do either way. Okay. And we're gonna, oh, let's just do that. That feels easier. We're gonna shrink this font. Sorry, I'm not describing. You ever do that thing where you're talking in your head, but you're not talking out loud? That's what I'm doing right now. Okay, so I'm talking out loud though. So what I've done is now I've made this URL. So if you were on, say, Instagram, this would be a link, a hyperlink that you created on Instagram. So as you can see, the reason why we have this, so now we have a read now, and then right beneath we have a link. So this would be perfect for, say, an Instagram story too. But this would also be helpful for a TikTok video. You could also have our favorite LIB. I think it's funny because LIB, link in bio, kind of sounds like LBD, which is little black dress, but it's also so helpful. Both are helpful things to have in your closet or your arsenal. So this is going to say link in bio now, in case this is for a video that you would, for example, you can't make a hyperlink for. So we're going to instead
tell people where to go too.
We're going to tell people where to go. So now we have, look, our link in bio is doing fun, magical things. Okay, so we've already, in the span of what feels like 2 minutes, but probably is significantly longer than 2 minutes, we've already made 2 templates, and we're going to make so many more over this live stream because I want to show you more of the fun, kind of interesting elements we can bring in. So that one question that we just had, and I'm going to title this something incredibly intelligent.
And I was also going to ask, as you're saving that or changing the title, how would you share, download any of these templates?
Okay, so this is how we download. Thank you for asking that question. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to click share. And then with share, we are going to go ahead, and what's cool is, like, say I have a collaborator, say you're my collaborator. This is also my personal email address. I would invite people into this. So I would do friend at adobe.com. I'm pretty sure that will go nowhere, but I'm not going to actually share with that. So this is how you can easily share this file. So say you want to collaborate with somebody else on this file, or you do have somebody who's handling your social media, you can share this and they can instantly get it, which is cool.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. And so then also, thank you for asking about downloads. Now downloads. So you can download this as an MP4, which you want for something like this. So for this, you'd want it as an MP4 because it has animated moving pieces. And then what's cool is video resolution. So just some general guidelines. You probably, especially for something like this, you probably don't want to download it as 4K because you don't need to have it as 4K.
Yeah.
You don't need to have it as 4K. But I will show you something that maybe we would want as a higher resolution. In fact, let's jump into something like that for our next thing. And yeah, and you would just click download, and then that would be the easiest download. But say you do want this as a still image, that's the best part, is you can just download it as a PNG. Personally, I always am like, do a PNG, don't do a JPEG unless you absolutely have to, because PNGs, as Adobe says, literally in here, are best for images. And so if you're ever giving an image to somebody else, make sure that you are giving it as a PNG. Giving it as a PDF would just be weird, unless it's a presentation. Okay, so we're not going to download this one, but what we are going to do is I want to show you maybe what a higher quality version of this would look like, but not higher quality. That's maybe the wrong way to think about it, but just a different version of promoting your work once again would look. So let's go. I just like to always go home. I mean, this is how I feel after I travel. I like to go home. So we're going to go back home and we're going to go, well, let's just do TikTok video again. It's fun. You guys are everyone on this stream is doing this as I'm doing this. And what I want to do is I want to find a template that has moving video behind it. So that way I can go ahead and do a moving video version of this. Ooh, this one is fun. Outfit of the day. And once again, I also want to show this because I think so many people see templates and they're like, well, I'm not doing an outfit of the day. I'm just trying to showcase that somebody wrote about me. Why would I use this template? And I will show you now how to take this template and make it into something that you can use it to showcase your writing. So first of all, what we're going to do is I'm going to double this. I'm going to duplicate this. Now we have two of the same pieces because that's what duplicate means. Okay, we're going to play it through a little bit. We have outfit of the day. Cool. This is not relevant at all. So we are going to take this beautiful video of someone walking through a beautiful neighborhood and we're going to replace it with business things. So I'm going to go into media. I'm going to go into video. And then I am going to look for literally business. And we see we have a ton of videos here that are businessy. This is somehow, for some unknown reason, $1 on fire. And that seems really negative. So we're not going to do that. We're going to take these two beautiful people of color and we're going to drop this in there instead. So once again, what I can do here is I can replace this video with this. So easy, so flipping easy. Because we just flipped our images. Ha 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 ha. And so that's exactly what we're doing. So as we can see, I'm just playing through this so you can see what this looks like already. And it is magical. It is wonderful. And the reason why I wanted to change this image to this is, and I'm going to pause this, is because we are going to now use this kind of as the first part of our video. I'm going to make this though a lot, whoopsies. We're going to make this a lot shorter. Also, I don't know if anyone else is like this, but I certainly am like this. I always am just using like my hands and I need to be using my mouse more in all of my other devices, but I 100% am just like drag and drop. And I'll even do Photoshop like that. I'm like,
really?
Pixel. I know. And I have all the other gear. I just love doing it literally by hand. There's something like manual about it that is really enjoyable for me. Okay, so now we're no longer, I'm sure these beautiful people are discussing the outfit of the day. But in case they aren't, we're going to change this now to something else. So we're going to get into our wonderful group of things and we're going to ungroup it. Oops. And we are going to now refresh this and let's just, whoops, we're going to reload this. Sometimes this happens, but we're just going to jump right back into it. Okay, because this is a really easy thing to fix. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to boop, 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 boop. We're going to check that out. Okay, we're going to go into here. Instead of the word outfit, you know what? In fact, we're just going to do this. We're going to delete that. It'll let me delete that. Okay, so we're gonna go into outfit. We're gonna change this to, whoop. And sometimes it gets a little temperamental, so it's getting temperamental with me right now. We're gonna go ahead and okay, we're gonna see if we can just go ahead and I think we're still grouped together, maybe the issue. And this is what it's like to troubleshoot live. It's kind of fun. I think it's super fun.
It is.
So we're gonna go ahead and we might just do the laziest thing in the world, which is just go ahead and delete all of these things instead of trying to figure out what's going wrong. Yay! Okay, even better. Instead of trying to fix something, we are just going to literally make it on our own. So what I did was I deleted the text in there, and I'm just going to add in my new text, and I'm going to get a little closer to this beautiful video, and I'm going to add in my new text, and my new text is going to say something incredibly shocking and surprising, which is new article. Okay, and then we are going to do this. Now, say we want to change that font. So easy. We can easily change that font, but I want to show something fun because we're here together and we're having a good time. So I want to see what happens when I type in pink bubble generate. And we're doing this live, so it might take a little bit.
Okay, so that's cool that you can generate different
fonts.
So
here we go.
I love
literally live. This is not pre-saved at all. This is, you're getting pink bubbles live, which is super fun.
That's so cool.
So cool. So here we go. And now I just want to play it so we can see. Ta-da! Okay. So what I want to do though is I want to animate that, because if we can generate, why don't we animate? So let's get into that. Oh, let's get back into my layer.
And while we do that as well, as a reminder, if y'all have any questions throughout the chat, please do drop them down so that way we can answer them. And then as we're reaching this kind of midpoint-ish time of our stream today, if you would like to nominate yourself or someone that you know that could be a great guest for Adobe Live, please be sure to drop their name in the chat. There is a guest recommendations button right above the chat, so you can click that in case you want to recommend anybody for creatives in the tab. So make sure y'all go ahead and do that.
Yes, and there's so many cool creatives who are making so much cool stuff. So please nominate someone. I definitely know. I feel like what's so fun about Adobe Lives too is everyone has a different point of view and like a different expertise. And while we're using the same tools, we use them so differently, which is
exactly
truly the best part. Okay, so I went ahead and I've animated this. So now it says new article. So now we have this thing that is a cool intro to our new article that we're going to talk about. That's two very serious business people discussing our very cool new article. And we're going to take now the second half that I kept for a reason, and we're going to edit this. So here's what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to delete the video in the second half. I'm going to keep this and I'm going to lower it down. And I'm going to add in an element. What the element I'm going to add, and this may be a shocker to some of you who have been here the whole time, but I'm going to upload an image that is a screen cap that I've already edited. And this one is a screen cap that is now incredibly tiny, but we're going to make it a lot bigger so I can see it. This is when I feel 80 because I'm just like, I can't see this at all. but it's also size 11. So
I was gonna
maybe
say it's also very small.
it's also like super, super tiny, teeny tiny. This little teeny tiny little screen cap. Okay. So here's another article that I wrote, but what I want is I want to do some fun things with this. So what we're going to do is we still have this bar, and I'm going to go ahead and delete the text from this bar too. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do that. And we're just manually doing this because it's meditative to do so. And because there was a faster way to do this and I totally didn't do that. Okay, so now we have what looks like, and I just want to show you what it already looks like, because I also want to show you now connected files in this. Okay, so this is what this piece looks like so far. We are all good. We are all good with this. Okay, so here's what this looks like so far. Look how cool that is. And it's already like a 2-piece video that then what I would do is I would put in the URL here. So just for the sake of having that URL, I'm going to go ahead and just type in that URL, which for the sake of this beautiful live stream will just be adobe.com. And you always have to do the S on all URLs. Okay, so we're gonna make this much smaller. And we are going to make this, oh, I was going to go ahead and do my Poppins, but I'm going to go ahead and pick one of these other fonts.
Ooh,
I'm
switching it up.
Yeah, switching it up. I'm so glad I showed you, though, how to do generative text. So if you want something like really interesting and textured, you can definitely do that. For URLs, I actually like to do something that's pretty plain, because what you don't want to do is make the URL confusing to read. So if you're doing URL as a text, you want to make it easy. And then I'm just going to really quickly do an animation in. Just going to have it drift in. Okay. So now we can kind of play through this whole thing. And I'm going to add in one more element, though, before we're done with this particular one. But this is what it looks like. Oops. This is what it looks like. Have that drift in, right? And so now we're going to add in a couple things to this. So this is a video, and one thing I haven't shown you how to do on any of these videos yet is we're going to go into media. And we're going to go into audio, and we're going to pick some happy music to lay on top of this. Now, of course, if you're uploading this to, say, a TikTok or an Instagram reel, you can use the music that already exists on the platform. But say you're uploading this, like I would be, to a Twitter or LinkedIn. Now, with that, you don't have music. And so it's helpful to have this beautiful audio that is powered by Adobe stock that we can use. So I'm just going to use the first happy thing, honestly. And this is a happy family loop. And so we're just going to have this.
And we can't, I can't hear it on my end.
Oh, you can't?
I can't, but I don't know if they will be able to, but I can't hear anything.
Oh, no. Okay. So if you can't hear it, oh, that's okay. So I think that I just wanted to show you how it looked.
Yes,
but
and
now,
how you do it. Now we know how to do that.
So now we know how to do that. So at the very least, now you know where it is. It's media, it's under audio. And then if I want literally upbeat, happy music, I think there's literally a track called Upbeat, Happy Music.
I love it.
Which is so helpful. Or if we wanted, for some reason, this to be Highland folk, we could also do that. So there's a million music tracks that you can pick from. That number is not exact. Do not quote me on that. That we can pick from for our music, for making any of these videos. But as we see now, we play through and now there's music. But I want to show you one more thing, and that is when we have, and you know what? I'm going to get into a fresh template to do that. So when we also, and I'm going to name this one, well, let's name this. We're going to name this Forbes 2. Awesome. Forbes article 2, 3.
And I also really like that there's an option to that. I'm just now seeing you can add the music, but you could also record a voiceover. I didn't know you can record voiceovers in Adobe Express.
So you can, I'm not going to do this, but
yes.
Because I can't hear anything right now. But, and that's my fault for not sharing those, sharing the audio. But you can also record voiceover, which is so helpful. Cool. So I think I just did this actually on another video that I made where you can, where I did like several clips of me walking through a place, and then I recorded a voiceover of me talking about that. And so it's so helpful to be able to record voiceover directly in Adobe Beta. Yay! Okay, so let's, we have some time, and I'm so excited because I wanted to show you so many templates, and we're doing so many templates. So we're gonna get back out into home, and then this time let's go into, let's do Instagram Reel and see what templates we have in Instagram Reel. So we're gonna browse our templates. And one thing that I want to show you now is I want to show you how you can use linked elements. That's the word I was looking for originally. Elements that are linked from different Adobe products into Adobe Express, which is super neat. And so I want to find a template that looks really good. So, best burger in Minneapolis. I'm not in Minneapolis, but this is this is a really cute template. So I'm going to do this one. Also, it's getting towards noon here, so I'm just getting hungry. And
oh my goodness. Yeah. I thought it was just me.
So I feel like I'm just hungry. Sadly, we're not talking about food today. We're talking about growing your personal and creative brand using Adobe Express, which is also delicious, but in a different, completely different way.
Completely different way.
Okay, so we're going to edit this one, but we're going to use some linked elements. Ooh, sad Mr. Burger, but you got to go, or Mrs. Burger, or non-gendered burger. So we're going to go ahead and upload from our device. Here's an article I recently got featured in for the information. And what I actually like about this particular article is that they actually did a really cool like outside frame around it. And as you can see, what was so interesting is we're going to restore our image. What you can do, and this is like neat, I'm going to show you what just happened, is you can remove backgrounds. So I'm going to click remove background. And it removed basically almost that entire background. And I can just click restore image if I want that. So if you ever get a screen cap that has a lot of stuff around it like this, and you don't want that stuff, you just boop. And same thing, obviously, if you have just an image of yourself or something else that you want to just remove it, it's so easy to do that. It's a one-click thing. In fact, I'm going to remove background because we can. And then this is now this beautiful thing. So let's just see what it looks like already. And it's already cool. It's already animated. It's sadly not the best burger in Minneapolis. I think that's factually incorrect. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to change some stuff here. But what I want to do is I want to show you linked elements. So we're going to go into your stuff. And here is an element I have from, you see, literally 10 hours ago from Illustrator. And here's a logo for VidCon, which is a very cool conference for video creators. And you can see this cool linked, it says literally linked asset. And I can open this in Illustrator. I can remove background. I can do all this stuff, which is so neat. And if I do any edits in Illustrator, it will reflect in Adobe Express with this element. And that, I don't know, I think that's so cool.
That is really dope.
Yeah, so I really like that. And I'm gonna drop in this element. So now we have this, and it's kind of moving, just kind of fun. And instead of best burger, we're going to go, we're going to say new, and we're going to make it all caps, new article. Spotlight.
Ooh, Spotlight to switch it up a little
bit.
bit.
So we're going to switch up the thing, not in Minneapolis. So we're going to go ahead and delete that. So new article Spotlight. And we're going to play through and just see how it looks already. And I think it already reflects kind of what we want to say, and probably not hamburger.site.com, as delicious as that sounds, but we're going to do our classic Adobe URL. And I feel like this is so helpful to have the URL here, have like a call to action. So as you can see, once again, now we've already made, once again, this would be perfect actually for something like an Instagram story, or even just like a video in feed in any of the feeds, or making it for something like Twitter. I think that's so helpful. And I haven't done this before with this template, so bear with me, but I'm going to try resizing it. So let's just try to resize this one, and we're going to try to resize it to a square post. Let's just see what happens.
Oh, wow.
It looks pretty good, right? I think that looks pretty good. And I think anytime I resize, I always get a little nervous because we never know. Because what Adobe will do is it will do absolutely its best. But as we can see, like, you know, it's helpful if this is like a little bit bigger and stuff like that. But actually, like, the elements look really good. So as a square video, now I can use this as an in-feed Instagram post too, which is very cool. And we're just gonna I'm going to play around with it and make it a little bit more aesthetically pleasing for our in-feed post. And a lot of this is, as you can see, the easiest thing to do in the world, because all I'm doing is just resizing everything to be slightly bigger. We have our cool linked elements. And now we're going to get in a little closer. Get in 25% so we can still see everything happening. And we're gonna play through this. There we go. Ta-da! Yay! So like this could be literally an in-feed video now for Instagram. That's a square. It's nice because this is also a good way. So you could have, say, an Instagram story that's promoting this article. But then you can also have a great in-feed post that's also then promoting it, which is nice. It's nice to have different versions, different options, because sometimes it's also nice to double promote something, right? So it's nice to have it in feed and then also in your stories.
Oh, I love this. I love the variety and just being able to, like, how customizable it all is too. Like, you could just get creative, do whatever you like, and just play around with it for sure.
Yeah. So, you know what? I'm already in this template and I want to show you how to do something. I'm going to do, IG article square. I'm trying to be better about naming everything that I work in, because I'm so used to leaving things as like untitled string of numbers, and I'm terrible at that. I want to show you something really cool though, that I think most people don't know about in Adobe Express. I certainly don't hear it talked about a ton. So I want to show you one thing, and that is how to generate a QR code. So QR codes are so nifty, because a QR code essentially is something that you could store on your literally on your phone, and then you can show somebody. So say I have a portfolio I want people to look at, I can then generate a QR code for that portfolio, just have that saved as a PNG on my phone or whatever. And then I can say, oh, just scan my phone, scan the QR code on my phone. That way people don't need to type out URLs. So for example, I'm going to go ahead and make, and you can do this for any URL. I'm going to do this for my own agency, Warm Robots. Would be bad if I didn't know the URL for my own agency. Warmrobots.com. And then what I'm going to do is, okay, and what it will do is it will check to make sure that's an actual URL. And then I want to change the style. So this is the other thing. Here's our plain QR code, which is great. And it's fine. I also think all of these kind of vaguely look like bunnies. And then here's a bunch of different ways. So we can either have, we can have squares, we can have more circly, or we can have really dotty. So I like this. I'm going to make the border, make everything round. And then you can change the center of this, which I think is like neat.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and then now
you can change the color.
Yeah, isn't that cool? So you can change the color. I think once again, people don't know that you could do this. So you can change the color. And here's like 5 different colors to pick from. Green is green. Green is my color, so I'm gonna pick green. And then there's a few different ways you can save this is PNG, JPEG, SVG. And the only reason why, I'm sure if you're a graphic designer out there, you know this, but the only reason why you pick PNG over JPEG is you want something that's slightly higher resolution. And SVG, obviously, it depends on what you're going to use this for later. But for me, I want a PNG. So I'm going to download this. And so now I've downloaded my amazing QR code. And you might be asking, how can I use that QR code? Well, I'll tell you how to use that QR code. I'll show you. We'll learn together how to use that QR code. I'm going to jump in and just do an Instagram square post. I'm lazy, so I'm doing literally the first template that I saw. And what I'm going to do is, sorry, handsome person, we are going to replace you with something else. Okay, so for some reason, it's selecting a border. So I'm going to select this person instead. And we're going to replace this with our QR code we just made, which is on my desktop, I think. And if it's not, then I will go into the pre-save thing I already made from before. Here we go. Okay, so here is the other QR code I already made. Ooh, this is not what we want for our QR code. So we're going to fix this in a second. I'm going to delete this. Actually, we're going to just delete that. And we're going to add in a fresh media. I feel like sometimes when I'm just talking through things, it's kind of funny because I'm going to see if I maybe put that there. Nope, I definitely did not. Maybe I put it. Yes,
yeah,
it's in my downloads folder. That makes sense. And you know what? I haven't done this before, but I'm going to just see what happens when we remove background on a QR code. Nope. Nope. So you don't want to do that because then that removes some of the stuff we want. But look how cool that looks already. And it's not our street style radar. This is visit my website. And we're not Arpeggio, New York, so we're going to delete this. And we're going to change this to Warm Robots LLC. And we're going to say, we're going to change this to some interesting text that tells us what it is. Social media and branding. I can spell agency, I swear. And then we're going to add in another line of text. So we just need to go ahead and duplicate. So this is the way we duplicate is we click on this. So we're just going to duplicate this. and say base in sunny Los Angeles, even though I'm looking out the window and Los Angeles is definitely not sunny today, which is very sad to me. Oh. Okay, so so here is literally the way to take a QR code and make it instantly into a cool like Instagram post or something you could just save on your phone. And in fact, instead of visit my website, which is weird, we're gonna just write Warm Robots. We're going to write the name of where you're going to. And I like to center things. So we centered things. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to group these two together, because what am I going to do? I'm going to animate it. I'm going to have things pop in, drop in, grow. So this way, what I can do now is I can save this both as a cool animated, you know what, I'm gonna have it grow in, but I'm then gonna have it, because why not have it extra animated? So now we have it, woo, it's moving. Which actually, now thinking about it, you probably don't want for a QR code, because then you can't scan it. So we're gonna dump that.
That is a very good note to make there.
But we can animate it in, and then now if I put this as an Instagram post, people can literally scan that Instagram post. They go to your website, which is so neat. Or you can, once again, download this, and I can save this as a PNG. And then it'll just be, say, on my phone or my iPad, so other people can then just, I can really easily send this over to people, or I can literally just hold up my phone and be like, hey, do you want to go to, like, you want to visit my website, like here. That way people don't have to click like or type in your website. And this is so helpful, once again, if you have a really long URL, a really complicated URL, if your company is named after yourself and you have a really long name with a lot of characters in it, this, I find QR codes is such an easy way to skip over that awkward part of dictating out your name. And as somebody named Goldie, I mean, my name is short, but not everyone knows how to spell it. And so a lot of times if I give people my personal website, which is goldiechan.com, people will mistype it. So an easy way around that is to give them a QR code. And once again, I literally just made this QR code in Adobe Express in 5 seconds. And I made it, and you can change the colors and everything, which is so fun and so nice. And is one of the coolest things, I think, about Adobe Express, or one of the coolest things that people don't really talk about a lot, because there's a lot of cool things in here. And I'm going to name this one QR code. And I want to just get back out really quickly into the beta. And then one thing we are going to do is I'm going to scroll down, and I want to show also some of the other quick actions that are really fun. So removing background is something I literally just did. But say you want to do that, but you don't want to do it from template, you can just do that from the quick actions in the home screen. And this is like another thing that I think is really helpful, is all of these fast conversions. So converting to PNG, convert to JPEG, convert to PDF, convert to SVG. I wanted to point these out because this is something that is super fast that you may or may not need at some point. It's so easy. If somebody asks you for JPEG format, you can literally drop. Let's do it right now. If somebody wants you to drop in an image, I can take this PNG, and it's already open. It's already ready, which is so neat.
No, I love that. Yeah.
And I can download it super fast. So if you need to convert and you don't, because before, I'll be honest, what I will do is I'll open up Adobe Photoshop and then I will open up my image, and then I will export it as a different file, and I will do all that. and this saves you from, say, having to open Photoshop or Illustrator to do those conversions. Now you can just drop it into Adobe Express and it'll do that version for you immediately. And I'm going to just go ahead and open this in Editor, because we have some time.
Yes, we still have some time left.
We still have some time left.
Yes.
And because of that, we're gonna just design one more thing because we have some time. So I will just add this as a page. Okay, so this is, to me, a very fun template. I think it's really silly. You have your fave moment, but what we can do with this instead is we can change this to talk about our amazing QR code. So, ta-da! So wow. Literally we can say, visit my website, but maybe not visit my website, visit my portfolio, right? And then instead of Kira, and then what I would do is I would actually take a version of myself and I would replace this head with like a version of my own cute little image. And then I would write, instead of Kira, because I'm not Kira, I write Goldie. But this literally then is, I can already essentially, once I replace this head, I would be able to export. In fact, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something very cheesy. I hope you're ready for it. I'm ready. Smiley face. Smile, man.
So cute.
Yeah, we're gonna. Ta-da!
Yes.
Yes. And now that's me saying that, and not another beautiful human. That isn't me saying that. And I also like, there's like a ton of really fun, you know what? In fact, I'm going to do this one because this one looks,
oh, that's so cute,
even cheesier, if possible, which I guess it is. We're going to flip it so it faces the right way. And now we have literally made a brand new, another additional template that says visit my portfolio. This could be an Instagram post that you could use to promote your next link. Or if this is not visit my portfolio, I have a lot of friends and I myself go to conventions. It can be even just a URL for find where I'll be in July, August, and this could be a QR code that links to your schedule, right?
That's true.
Isn't that so cool? So if you are somebody that travels a lot, like I do a ton of speaking, I can now create this cool template that's a QR code that literally people just scan it and then they can find out where I'll be and also get tickets to different events. Which I think is such a fun way to use QR codes that most people don't think about. But there's like a million ways that you can be using QR codes. So this is another way. And then I would be remiss if I didn't animate things. So I'm going to go ahead and group these things together. And we are going to, we're going to do this, which is very fun, I think. And we're going to, like, how fun is that? Once again, this is a terrible idea actually for a QR code because then you can't
nobody can scan it.
So don't follow my advice, and we'll just do an in. We'll do this in then. We'll do a shrinking. And also I love, there's different energies for this. I want more of a smooth energy as opposed to a loud or energetic. So let's do smooth. So now, ta-da, we've made an animated video that has our QR code that shows where we're going to show up in the next 2 months. Yay! All in Adobe Express, super fast. that I think is like just like a fun way of, I think this is a fun way to think about also just sharing news about you. But and once again, we could have replaced this QR code with, say, a press mention or with like a blog, something or other. And that's the other thing. You can think about using QR codes too to link to things you want people to go to. So that might be the podcasts that you'll be on in the next month. Sure. So it can be, I could say, I could technically have done a QR code for literally this Adobe Live. So I could say tune into Adobe Live. Yeah, that's true. Next week, where I'll be talking, right? And then this QR code could literally link to that Adobe Live. So meta, talking about Adobe Live on Adobe Live with a QR code that would link to Adobe Live. But that would be also another kind of interesting way to share where you'll be and where people can find you. So I'm hoping that some of these templates are helpful for ways you can think about, changing things up a little bit. And
yes, I think this was really great. I think there was a lot of variety in the different types of templates you showed. And that way we're able to see what ways that we can incorporate them. I know for me, I'm always like, oh, I want to do some branding, but like how? Because it seems like such a big concept. But this is really great to just simplify it and to see how much freedom you have. And it doesn't take a long time, and it isn't as stressful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like you also just don't have to take yourself too seriously.
Too seriously, yeah.
And as you can see, like literally I'm replacing this with, and we're going to flip it so it turns the right way. I think you can also, I think one of the concerns I get from people is they're like, I don't want to put my face on all of the things that I do to promote. But as you saw, my face, my beautiful face, was not on a single one of these things that I designed. Look here, I literally chose a peach person, a peach thing that is representing me for this particular post. And this could be, of course, the icon that it represents your brand. Warm Robots, we have a robot that represents the brand. And so I could also use that. But this is also a fun way to think about, okay, well, I don't want to put my own face on things that I promote, but you don't have
to. Yep.
And that's, I think, the real beauty of this is like, if you don't want to be the face of things, you don't have to be. You can still make things that are really fun and really creative looking and really engaging and really human. Like this to me feels like a really human post as opposed to like a really dry post.
Yes.
And that's what you want to avoid, is having things that look really dry and boring.
I love it. I know we have a couple minutes left before we hop off for today. If y'all have any questions you want me to ask in the last few minutes, please do drop them in the chat. Goldie, can we look at, is it possible to go back to your homepage and like look at the few that we've created so far?
Yeah, just absolutely. Let's go back and we're going to go through some of them. So as you see, they're all here in my recent. Yay, recent. Okay, so here's one that we just made in the beginning, as you can see. And once again, we animated that link in bio. So that's definitely one. And the colors are just so nice and wavy, as well as the shapes. Here was a really interesting one that we did together that has the article in one, and it has some stock video. So that's one thing I just want people to know, is that you can absolutely use stock video in these things. Just find the right video. And then I'm literally making what's essentially just a screen cap, really interactive. Just so neat. And then we can go back to this. We can actually go into your stuff. That's the other way to access things. So I want to show a couple different ways you can access things. And then here is another one. Whoop. that we animated that has our original QR code. That is a great way for people to be able to access, say, your main site. If you want people to access your main site, but you don't want to have people type that in. And then let's go through a couple more, because I think we did design a couple more together.
Yes, the one with the question mark we did after this one. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we also did this one, which was a new article spotlight. And it's nice. And once again, it has animation. And of course, you could make these all still. You could export this as a still image, and it would still be useful and helpful to promote things. And then I think this might have been the last one that we did together. This was the first one we did together. And then this one is, I'm going to zoom in a little closer so everyone can see kind of what it looks like up close. But I love the moving background in the back. I think it's so fun to have like color gradients and things like that. But the best part is I didn't have to design or edit those color gradients. I literally picked a cool template and just ran with it.
Absolutely.
And if you open up Adobe Express right now, say you're watching this, you can literally see it as one of the first templates.
Love it. Awesome. Yes. Oh, thank you so much, Goldie, for today. This is absolutely incredible. Make sure y'all go ahead and check out her website, Instagram, Twitter. Thank you, Sam, for dropping that in the chat. And make sure you stay tuned and join Anika, so that way you can make sure that you learn how to build your brand in Adobe Express by easily duplicating and resizing designs for TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. As always, thank y'all so much, and we will catch y'all next time.
Bye.
Bye.